My last year on the Urban Renewal Commission 2 years ago, I think one of my last couple meetings, the Cove Development DDA was brought with some changes. And that was right at the end of my term on the commission that some changes were made with the DDA. And that happened after multiple times that the Urban Renewal Commission said, this is our last chance to make any changes. We are not going to change it again. And the current Urban Renewal Commission did change it again and did approve it again. So I have concerns about that. Not that that has anything connected necessarily with the actual restoration that this accounts for, because I do remember being part of that conversation. I guess one of my main concerns about supporting this tonight is that at least two of us up here were not involved in any of the executive session meetings regarding this topic, in which I'm sure other topics may have come up or issues may have come up, which I'm not sure of, which wouldn't have been in the documents that we received tonight. So I don't have any real issues with what I see on paper in the packet, but I'm also questioning whether or not there was any discussions or issues brought up in executive session that we may not have been privy to that might affect our issues or concerns with this sale. And I don't know if there's a way that we can, me and Commissioner Rachel Smith could be updated on any of the conversation that took place in that executive session.
You can listen to any of the executive sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something we could do quickly or if it's something we could, it's an issue that I kind of want to know if there was a discussion there that brought any other issues up that I don't know of.
Are we suggesting we defer action until they had the opportunity to enlighten themselves with those past records?
And I probably should ask for that before tonight, but I've been sick for the last.
I don't know that. From my memory of those conversations, I think it was pretty well vetted. I think pretty much any of the questions that might have been asked by either Commissioner Smith or Commissioner Smith were certainly covered by Commissioner O'Donnell.
However, the outcome would have possibly, or the discussion may have changed whether or not we would have been out there at the time to banter about that same topic.
Right.
Is there an urgency to move forward on this tonight?
I'm trying to get to that. I think there was a timeline in the DDA. Okay. I'm trying to get
because I have no objection. It was a complex issue. I know that I did ask many questions. There's some protective measures put in there without which I would not have moved forward on this. But I have no objection to our returning and most recent additions to the commission to, if there's no time limit on this, I would definitely allow them to read the record so they could understand the critical points. And of course I could give it from my perspective, but their own is better. So the question is, are we under some time limitation that we cannot do? Understood.
And reference back to section 5.1. Not seeing anything that's jumping out at me.
Creed Street. Oh, there was some pro forma. We did all that work. So Katie, while we're waiting, when is our next Urban Renewal Commission meeting?
Whenever we establish it.
Okay, so we don't
So
have
we
the
can
current,
add-
we don't have one
The
on the
next
schedule.
meetings
We can
would be
have that at the next
February.
meeting.
Typically February 6th.
we could do one at the work session if we had to, or,
I guess the one thing I would point out is that in the agreement, it spells out the right for them to purchase the property if the three conditions are met.
And the other piece is that if they don't perform at certain places, then that reverts back to the city.
There is a reversionary clause in the deeds to revert the properties back to
okay,
the
so
city.
can I at least ask this question, and whether it can be answered or not, I'm not sure, but were any concerns that were brought up so those conditions that are there are based on conversations that might have happened at the executive session meeting?
I think those are in the exec session and then negotiated with the developer, and then they're reflected in the development and disposition agreement. So for example, the reversionary clause was a requirement of the commission in order to purchase the two properties that are in question tonight. So that was incorporated into the deeds with the sale, that if certain actions aren't taken within a certain amount of time frame, they would revert back to the Urban Renewal Commission for lack of action.
Okay.
There was also that they need to come forward for further approvals from the commission, the Urban Renewal Commission, as to what's actually going to be built on those properties, because there was not a proposal put forward at that time that the Urban Renewal Commission had a chance to review of what would happen on Tract A or Lot 1, if anything. And so there's a requirement to come back to the Urban Renewal Commission with those plans to receive the commission's approval for those development of those properties.
So there's still the possibility that that Lot A could have development on it, or that goes away with?
Both Lot A and Lot
There
1
is.
and Tract A have development potential.
Okay.
One of the tract, Lot 1, which is the one adjacent to the cove, has the 100-foot easement on it for
along
the
river,
restore cap
right.
work.
Okay,
However, the city had the final say as to the nature of the development, did we not? It was our approval. You know what I don't want is for our two commissioners who are not familiar with this to be uncomfortable with trying to vote when they feel like they're not well-versed on the subject. And if that means that I have to put it over and we deal with it in a timely manner, I know how much we like to proceed and get things off our table, but I want to do things right.
well, knowing that development is still possible on that site helps me. I guess the other concern would just be whether or not the issues that you brought up in executive session are accounted for in this, and you feel comfortable with that. But I still would love, if there's time allows, I still would love to listen to the executive session tape just to be more aware of it if I can. I don't know, was that a long meeting or was it?
I think it can be summarized fairly concisely.
Okay.
But I don't think it would take you a lot of time to listen to that.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes,
So is there, I mean, is a 2-week delay on this, is that going to cause anybody major heartache?
The developer is anxious.
It may cause them some heartache.
It's not going to cause me heartache. I imagine, I have not spoken to him about a delay.
Then I would suggest, and I will move, that we table this to our first, that we have a special Urban Renewal Commission meeting prior to or after our first work session in February. Or do we have a meeting before work session, right?
Our next next date for a meeting is February 6th.
Okay, then to a date certain of February 6th. And that would give both Commissioners Smith the opportunity to listen to the exec sessions. Is there a second?
I would certainly agree with that. Call for a,
Commissioner
if there's any
Lyles
further
Smith, I
Is there
think,
any-
had a question too. Do we want to address
I
those
can defer
before
my
we vote?
question until we meet again.
is there any further discussion?
How many, was there more than one meeting?
I think there were 2 exec sessions on this,
Okay.
One
But-
was very short.
but neither one of them were more than half hour, 40 minutes. maybe.
Okay.
I think we can digest it down to some key points, Commissioner Smith, and you'll see what they are.
Okay.
I would just suggest that if it is causing some difficulty for the developer, that we have leave it open-ended as far as the date and have a special Urban Renewal Commission meeting? As long as the two of you are able to get
Sure.
to the
Well,
executive
we're only
session.
talking 2 weeks.
Well, it's like 3 weeks out because there's an extra week in
Our next meeting is 3 weeks from tonight.
We'll touch base with those guys, and
if we need to move it up.
move it up, we can.
We can.
We can hold a special meeting.
Understood.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So motion amended and second, do you agree with that amendment?
agree.
Okay, and would you like me to call the roll?
Call the roll, please.
All right. Commissioner Nancy Ide,
Aye.
Commissioner Rachel Lyle Smith. Aye. Commissioner Steve Van Haverbeek,
Aye.
Commissioner Rocky Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Dan Holliday,
Aye.
and Chair O'Donnell.
Aye.
Move to approve the minutes to November 26, 2018 regular meeting.
Is this not moving fast enough for you?
Let's just get it done.
Okay.
Is there a
Am I allowed
second?
a second?
No.
Second.
Okay.
I just thought he was.
Call for a vote?
Yep. Commissioner Nancy Ide,
Aye.
Commissioner Rachel Lyle Smith. Aye. Commissioner Steve Van Haverbeek,
Aye.
Commissioner Rocky Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Holliday,
Aye.
and Chair O'Donnell.
Aye. Right. Future agenda items? Anyone? Hearing none, city manager's report?
I do not have any updates for tonight, thank you.
Okay, and we'll adjourn the meeting.
There you go.
Meeting adjourned.